million gate since the famous Dempsey Sonny long count battle in Chicago 8 years before. Everyone's stunned by the fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my people? It's Cash Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Today, the life and career of Sugar Ray Robinson. The life and career of Sugar Ray Robinson. And salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cash Sports, the Boxtorian. How's everyone today? It's Friday, the Friday afternoon edition of Cash Sports, the Boxtorian. It's profile day. The profile today is Sugar Ray Robinson, Mr. Pound for Pound himself, widely regarded as the greatest fighter of all time. It's said he was the fighter that the mythical pound for pound list was created for. It's Friday, so we pulled right back on another weekend of boxing. 3 cards that I know about this weekend, with the big one being the big rematch between Robinson SHYOW and O'Shaquie Foster. The roles are reversed going into the rematch. SHYOW will be defending the title, and O'Shaquie will be challenging for it this time. And you got to give SHYOW his props, give him a lot of respect because he was controversy involved, and O'Shaquie said he really did credit to what does SHYOW do. He gives him a rematch and say, "I'll prove I deserve to be champion." So you got to give SHYOW a lot of respect and props for what he's doing, because that doesn't happen a lot nowadays. So many times nowadays you get a close, controversial fight like that, and the champion just walks away. But SHYOW is saying, "I'll prove it that I deserve to be champion," and we're gonna find out tomorrow night in the big rematch, and we're gonna talk about it in a few minutes. But today is Profile Day, and Sugar Ray Robinson, Mr. Pound for Pound himself, and we'll pull it right up on the weekend. Again, these weekends come around fast at the end of another big week of boxing history. On Cat Sports, the Box Historian, part of that fire JBT network. Mike Mazik in the building. Salute, Mike. How are you today? Sugar Ray Robinson. And we got the big rematch coming up this weekend. I was just saying you got to give SHYOW his props because, it was controversy in it. SHYOW said, "Well, I'll prove I deserve to be champion," because so many times in that situation, the guy that won just walks away, but SHYOW is giving O'Shaquie his rematch and telling him, "I'll prove I'll beat you. I'll do it again." And we are going to see it tomorrow. Tomorrow night, ESPN Plus. A good card overall, too. We're going to talk about it in a few minutes. A few more people get in here. But salute Mike Mazik in the building. Right behind me and Miss Cass. Sometimes Mike beats me and Miss Cass here. Mike says he's the best. And then we're going to talk about Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson. They say he was the one that they started the mythical pound for pound list for. Arguably the greatest of all time. Ali, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Leonard. They all said Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest. And Ali, Sugar Ray, Floyd, Pernell Whitaker, they all admitted, Sugar Ray Leonard that is, they all admitted that they patterned themselves after Sugar Ray Robinson. Took part of his game and incorporated it into their own style. Yep, not a bad man to take some notes from. Had I think he had fought for 25 years, 1940 to 1965, had a long career. But he clearly at the end, he was done, They said he was having some financial problems, as a lot of boxers do, and they stay around too long. Ken Saul Love won in the building. What's up, Ken Saul Love? This is Friday, at the end of another big week of boxing history, and we're going to end it with the profile as usual. Sugar Ray Robinson. Let's talk fashion in the building. Got another fire episode out there. Season 3 has began. Okay. Check it out. Fire episode this morning. It's Friday. And you know how we do it on Fridays in the JBT. Jarrell Hattie in the building. Salute, Jarrell. Let's talk about this card tomorrow. I know we got at least 3 that I know of, and the big one is the big rematch between O'Shaquie Foster and O'Shaquie Foster and Jarrell Hattie. O'Shaquie Foster and Ralston SHYOW. Like I said, the roles have reversed. This time, SHYOW is doing the defending, and O'Shaquie is doing the challenging. Okay. Now, this fight is coming from Turning Stone Resort and Casino up there in Verona, New York. The network is ESPN Plus. Okay. And it's for the WBC Super Featherweight title, which belongs to Ralston Conceição this time, right? He was going up against challenging O'Shaquie last time. And like I was saying, you got to give Ralston his props because there was controversy involved, and O'Shaquie said he didn't really win it. So Ralston said, let's do it again. I'll prove it to you that I deserve to be champion. And Conceição comes in at 19 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. And the O'Shaquie fight was his 4th title shot, and the previous 3 times he had fell short to Oscar Valdez, Emmanuel Navarrete, and Shakur Stevenson. Shakur was the only clear-cut loss because there was controversy in the Valdez loss and the Navarrete. They called it a draw. A lot of people thought Conceição won both of those, but he clearly got beat by Shakur. But his 4th time, he was successful. He lifted the title off of O'Shaquie. And Ralston is Brazil's first Olympic gold medalist in boxing. Yep, I think it was 2016 he won it. And he's 2-0-1 in his last 3 fights coming into this one. Now, O'Shaquie comes in at 22 wins, 3 losses. And coming into that first Conceição fight, O'Shaquie was on a 12-fight winning streak. So he lost that winning streak against Conceição in the last fight. O'Shaquie says he really should be 13-fight winning streak because he don't think he lost it. But yeah, he was on a 12-fight winning streak. And he was coming off with 3 hard, tough fights. Coming into that fight, he had fought Ray Vargas, Rocky Hernandez, which was a 2023 Fight of the Year against Rocky. Remember that one? They had O'Shaquie behind down in Mexico. I don't know why he went down there. They was trying to rob him. And he needed a knockout, and he came up with it in the 12th round to retain his title. And of course, he had another tough fight. His last fight was before Conceição was Abraham Nova. And O'Shaquie looks to regain his belt Saturday night. Now, in the first fight between these two, Conceição landed single-digit punches in 10 of the 12 rounds, man. 10 of the 12 rounds. While O'Shaquie landed more total punches than Conceição, O'Shaquie landed at 25% for the fight, where Conceição landed at 11%. But Conceição got the nod, got the split decision, and he looks to prove tomorrow night that he deserves to be the champion. Okay? Now, what else is on this card? Okay? The co-main event is Raymond Muratalla versus Jesus Perez. That's at lightweight, 135. Muratalla comes in at 21 wins, no losses. Perez comes in with 25 wins and 5 losses. Then we got Abraham Nova on the card going up against Humberto Galindo, super featherweight. Okay. Nova is 23 wins and 3 losses. Galindo is 14 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws. We also got Jahai Tucker on the card going up against Callisto Madeira. Middleweights. Tucker is 12 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. Madeira, 14 wins, 5 losses. We got Jan Santana versus Eduardo Baez. Featherweights, 126. Santana comes in 12 wins, no losses. Still got his O. Baez, 23 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws. And we got a couple more fights. Damian Nava versus Richard Harrison. Heavyweights. Nava is 13-0. Harrison is 16 wins, 6 losses. Ali Feliz versus Rashad Coulter, another pair of heavyweights. Feliz is has heavyweight prospects. Feliz is 3-0. Coulter is 5-4. Then the other 2 cards I know about, we got one coming from Las Vegas. That's headlined by Floyd Schofield, going up against Renee Tellez. They're lightweights. And then the other card is from also on that card from Vegas is Gabriela Fundora, the Towering Inferno sister. She's going up against Gabriela Celeste Alanis. That's for undisputed flyweight for the women. Undisputed. And then from Birmingham, England, the third card is Liam Davis versus Shabazz Massad. They're junior lightweights. And we have a title fighter on that card. Chantel Cameron going up against Patricia Bergholt. This for the WBC interim junior welterweight, which belongs to Cameron right now, but she's going in there against defending her title tomorrow night too in Birmingham, England. And that's what we have on the schedule for tomorrow. On the schedule for today, we have Sugar Ray Robinson. I don't see Melanin Queen. Jarrell he knows Melanin Queen is coming, so he's saluting her before she gets here. But appreciate everybody. Everybody ready for the weekend? It's here. Every day is the weekend for me. So I welcome everybody else to the weekend. I've been on the weekend since October the 12th. Yeah, every day is the weekend. So welcome y'all to the weekend. Okay? And it's Friday. Still early in the JBT day. We already had a few good acts. Started out with Crush the Legend at 6:30. That's a TWT JBT joint venture. Crush the Legend with BVO Boxing TV. Then we had the season 3 opened for Let's Talk Fashion this morning at 10 a.m. Another fire episode. Is it fashion or is it clashing? Let's Talk Fashion is the blend up fashion, sports, entertainment, and life. Okay, season 3 has begun. Next episode is Wednesday at 10 a.m. Okay, then it's Cash Sports at 2, bringing you all of that boxing history. Just Do Boxing at 4 p.m. Okay, let's talk fashion. I appreciate it. I need some topics. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. And then, Just Do Boxing at 4. And we don't have the Friday night hangout anymore. BVO was Monday through Thursday, but now he's Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. BVO with D Free and Prize Fighter, Crush the Legend, 8 p.m. And then 9 p.m. the Mighty Rise podcast. And it's Friday. The Angry White Men tonight at 10 p.m. Yep, D1 and William Old School on Rant. Don't forget to check them out. D1 said he's going to be angry tonight. He said that this morning. I don't know what happened. They're always angry, so, I guess they'll be extra angry tonight. But 10 p.m., make sure you check that out. And then some of our other shows. Prison Talk with Tommy, Cadra's Corner, Aunt McQueen, and Thomas Hill, breaking down boxing like you'd never seen it broken down before. And then BN Boxing News. Yeah. Fire channel. He does some fire post-fight analysis. If you ever catch him doing that. But subscribe to all our channels and like, comment, subscribe. Hit the up thumb, the down thumb, hit something. Support the grind. Hit that Cash App. I'm not monetized anymore, so you can't hit that. But I will be, I guess, sooner or later. I still don't know what I did. But yeah, let's talk fashion. I appreciate that. I'll be looking out for that. Mike Rim in the building. What's up, Mike? How are you today? We're going to be talking about Mr. Pound for Pound himself in a few minutes. About 5 or 10 minutes. Yep. But how is everybody? It's the weekend. Friday. These weekends come around so fast, man. I was just asking everybody, how was their weekend? It was Monday. Now it's time to have a good weekend. It's Friday already. It's crazy. But happy Friday, everybody. From Mike Rim. Yep. Anybody got anything big planned this weekend? Whatever you got planned, just be safe about it so we can hook back up here Monday. And speaking of Monday, Fantasy Matchups Monday next week will be Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker versus the Legends. Okay? So, down around lightweight, round in there, we're going to have him go up against some of the people from different eras, like Pernell and Henry Armstrong. Ooh, that would be something there. Henry was pressure. Pernell with that defense, that would be a scrap. Sugar Ray fought Henry Armstrong, but Henry was older, and Sugar Ray was Henry was Sugar Ray's idol, and he was just trying to help him make some money, toward the end of his career. Yeah. And Sugar Ray fought 25 years. He had retired, but he had to come back because he was having financial problems too. He made $4 million over his career. You know, back 40s, $54 million was a lot, you know. And he blew it. He had to come back and fight some more. But he was clearly done, you know, toward the end. And he lost his last fight. We're going to cover all of that, yeah, when we get into it in about 9 minutes. We're going to cover it all. Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson. That's who they say they made the pound for pound list for. And he's widely thought of as the best fighter of all time. They all called him that. Ali, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Leonard. And like I was saying, Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd, Purnell, they admittedly stole something. Well, not stole, but they took some of Sugar Ray's moves, you know, and incorporated it into their style. Yeah, not a bad man to take from. The pound for pound king, Sugar Ray. Yes. But who y'all got in the big rematch tomorrow? I got O'Shaquie. O'Shaquie already said that it's not going the distance. He's not leaving it up to the judges, but I don't know. SHYOW got the first one. Just he was the more aggressive, but it wasn't effective aggression though, you know, because he wasn't really landing anything good. He was just the aggressor. And SHYOW said O'Shaquie just ran the entire fight. He said he didn't do enough as a champion. But you got to give SHYOW his credit, you know. There's so many times in that situation, a fighter that won would just go in the other direction. But SHYOW said, okay, you think it's controversy? Here's the belt. Let's do it again. I'll prove it to you. So we're going to find out tomorrow if SHYOW can defend that belt successfully and prove it wasn't a fluke or controversy, or O'Shaquie takes it back from him. Al Booger in the building. What's up, AB? And Crush the Legend. That was a fire episode this morning. Talking hip hop. Crush the Legend is a very versatile guy, man. He was talking that hip hop this morning, man. I was hanging on every word in there. Fire episode, Crush. And the coffee and the donuts this morning. Yep. If y'all didn't see that, check out that replay. That was a good one. They all good, but that was extra good. Yeah. Crush the Legend. Hashtag TWT. The winning team. Yeah. And you know that coffee and donuts is fire because that's a joint TWT JBT venture there, man. So that's, you know, that's fire. FIYA. Fire. Not fire. Fire. FIYA. It's in the dictionary. Fire. Okay. I don't know the definition of it, but it's in there. Let's salute Crush the Legend. And Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, Thomas Hill? How are you today? The legendary Thomas Hill in here. Salute T Hill. Crush says Robinson is the GOAT. Robinson. SHYOW? Oh, you mean Sugar Ray Robinson? Okay, Crush. I thought you were talking about Robinson SHYOW. That's Rob's son. Sugar Ray Robinson's son. Okay, I got you. Yeah. That's what they say. They say they made the pound for pound list for him. You know, the mythical pound for pound list, where if everybody was the same weight, they say Sugar Ray, if there was only one weight class, Sugar Ray would definitely be number one of all time. Okay, yeah, Sugar Ray Robinson. And we're going to talk about him today. We're going to cover, I got like 20-something fights ahead we're going to talk about. It's going to be good. Yeah. And we got about 5 minutes. I started early Monday and the whole thing almost went out on. I told you. It's bad luck to start before 2:30. But yeah, he is the GOAT. Greatest of all time. Ali said he was. They all did. And they all took from his style. All of them. All the great ones. Joe Louis said he was the greatest too. But he stayed. The Sugar Ray stayed. He fought 25 years. At the end, he clearly should have been gone. But they said he had because he had retired. But they said he had financial problems and he came back. He made $4 million during his career, which was a lot, 40s, 50s, but he blew it. He had a pink Cadillac, and he did a couple European tours, and he took all these 15, 20 people on entourage with him. Flew his pink Cadillac all over Europe with him, you know, and yeah, he just blew his money, man. But he enjoyed himself, you know. That's how you do it. You only live once. And you know, even when his skills had diminished, he was Sugar Ray Robinson, so people were still paying to come see him. You know, they were still coming to see, paying to see a 80, 70, 80% Sugar Ray Robinson because he was him. You know. So yeah, he had a way to make that money back, get back in that ring, so he did it. Mr. Sugar Ray Robinson. Yeah. Thomas Hill says, crush the Mickey Fricky legend. Yeah. Yeah, anybody that show this morning was fire, man. About the hip hop. Yeah, I learned some stuff in there, man. Yes. Not all about boxing all the time. TWT, JBT, we are versatile people. We can talk all kind of different subjects, man. You know, that's what makes it so good. We got a fashion show. Yep, season 3 has started. About time because, man, I'm missing my fashion the last couple of weeks, man. Got us hooked on fashion and disappear on us like that. But he's back. It's season 3, and it's fire. But let's get ready to talk about Sugar Ray Robinson, Mr. Pound for Pound himself. How's everybody? The weekend is here. Every day is the weekend for me now, you know. But I welcome everybody else to the weekend. Okay? And just have a good, safe one so we can hook back up Monday. Because Fantasy Matchups Monday next week is Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. I never knew how he got his nickname, but I just the other day, remember, he his name was Pete, nickname was Pete when he was young, P-E-T-E. And early in his career, he was having a fight in his hometown, and the crowd was yelling Sweet Pea. They was yelling the letter P, but the sports writers thought they were saying Sweet Pea, P-E-A. And the rest is history. He started calling him that, and it caught on. And that turned out to be his nickname, Sweet Pea Whitaker. And he was a bad man. I didn't even hit the like myself. Damn. Wow. He did something. I can expect somebody to hit the like it. I didn't even hit it myself. Thank you, Thomas Hill, for reminding me. Wow. I give myself 3 likes. I didn't give myself 1 of them. I'm getting ready to give myself all 3 of them now. Then we're going to get started. So I can look at them as they go up. You know, I got my grandson's account, and I got 2 accounts of my own. So I start out with like 6 likes. Oh, come on. Cash Sports. Cash Sports. I can't get it to come up. Why? Oh my goodness. Don't you quit on me, Wi-Fi. All this money I pay for this. There we go. Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay, yeah. There we go. And I owe myself 1 more. But let's get started. It's 3:30. Switch back to pulling up on 1,000. I'm stuck on like 850, man. It's crazy. At the 850, I can't get no more. That drunk guy from the UK didn't even hit the like the other day. I don't know why I came out now. I can't get back in. What's today's show? Sugar Ray Robinson? Yeah. OMG. I can't get back in. Damn, I smell marijuana. Miss Cass out there. Damn, that shit is strong. Let me open this window up. Catching our contact. Okay, let's go with today's show. The life and career of Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay. Salute Al Booger. Well, Al Booger been in here. What am I talking about? Okay, here we go. Now, let me take a drink of water before I get started. Where did everybody go to? Y'all gonna miss this good show. Go ahead. What's today? The weigh-ins, right? For Rob said it on Shaqy, the weigh-ins, right? Okay. I'm a goody two-shoes. I don't smoke or nothing. You know. Okay. Now, Sugar Ray Robinson, he had a 25-year career. He competed from 1940 all the way to 1965, right? And he went into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990, that inaugural year, in that old timers category, with all the old timers that had been retired for years, like Joe Louis, Willie Pep, Archie Moore, all those guys. Sandy Sadler. 1990, they put a whole truckload of them in. They made a special category, the old timers category. Sugar Ray went in on that in 1990. And he is often regarded as the greatest boxer of all time, pound for pound, right? It's said he was the boxer that the mythical pound for pound list was created for. That's right, Al Booker. I ain't got nothing to do, man. I'm unemployed, man. You're 100% right, Al Booker. Nothing to do. Yeah, but Sugar Ray is often regarded as the greatest boxer of all time, pound for pound. He was a dominant amateur fighter too, but his exact amateur record is not known, right? It's usually listed as 85-0. They do say that he didn't lose as an amateur. Everybody loses as an amateur, but Sugar Ray didn't. And his record is thought to be 85-0 with 69 knockouts as an amateur, right? 40 of them came in the first round. Wow. But it has been reported that he did lose to Billy Graham and Patsy Pesca as a teenager under his given name, Walker Smith Jr., right? But as Sugar Ray Robinson, he didn't have any losses. But he turned professional in 1940 when he was 19 years old. Okay, 1940. 19 years old, he turned professional. And by 1951, check this out, he had a professional record of 129 wins and 1 loss. Okay? Melanin Queen 27 in the building. What's up, Melanin Queen? Drill Hattie was saying salute to you like 15 minutes ago. I don't even think you was in here, but you real knew you was coming. Salute Melanin Queen 27. How are you today? How's your day going? Good to see you. Talking about Mr. Pound for Pound himself. But did y'all hear that? He started in 1940. By 1951, he had a record of 129 wins and 1 loss, 130 fights. That was in 11 years. Let me calculate it. That comes, his first 11 years, that's like 11 fights per year. Wow, he only lost 1 of them. That's crazy. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, 129 and 1 with 85 knockouts. From 1943 to 1951, Robinson went on a 91 fight unbeaten streak. That's the 6th longest in professional boxing history. Wow, we got 5 fighters that won more than 91 in a row. That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, but from 43 to 51, he went on a 91 fight unbeaten streak. And they lift the fight. Okay, he got the 6th longest unbeaten streak in history behind Pedro Carrasco won 93 in a row. Sugar Ray won 91. Pedro Carrasco won 93 in a row. The great Jimmy Wild, the UK fighter, he won 95 in a row. Buck Smith won 102 in a row. Packy McFarlane won 104 in a row, and the record is Young Griffo won 107 fights in a row. Young Griffo. Yeah, what a name. Young Griffo. If he won 107 fights in a row, he can call himself whatever he wants to call himself. But there he is. Guess you didn't know what I was saying. Young Griffo. He got 107 knockouts in a row. I mean, not knockouts, wins. That's the record. 107 in a row. Now, Sugar Ray held the world welterweight title from 1946 to 1951. And he won the world middleweight title later on in 1951, right? And he retired in 1952, only to come back 2.5 years later and regained the middleweight title in 1955. Came back and got his title back. Yup. Do it is. Sugar Ray came back and got his title back. He then became the first boxer in history to win a divisional world championship 5 times, a feat he accomplished by defeating Carmen Basilio in 1958 to regain the middleweight championship. Now, Carmen Basilio said in order for Sugar Ray to regain it 5 times, he had to lose it 4 times. Yeah. Now, he was named Fighter of the Year twice. First for his performances in 1942, then 9 years later, and over 90 fights later, for his efforts in 1951. And historian Bert Sugar ranked Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time. And in 2002, Sugar Ray was also ranked #1 on the Ring magazine list of 80 best fighters of the last 80 years. As of July 2023, BoxRec ranked Sugar Ray as the greatest boxer pound for pound of all time. And he was named the best boxer of all time pound for pound by the International Boxing Research Organization, the IBRO, okay? In both of his all-time ratings in 2006 and 2009, both of its all-time ratings in 2006 and 2019, okay? Let's see. Now, Sugar Ray was renowned for his classy and flamboyant lifestyle outside the ring. He is credited with being the originator of the modern sports entourage, right? After his boxing career ended, Sugar Ray attempted a career as an entertainer, but it was not successful. He struggled financially until his death in 1989. And in 2006, he was featured on a commemorative stamp by the United States Postal Service. Okay? Now let's look at Sugar Ray's early life. But first, let's do this. Okay. Bear with me for a second. I'm always doing something. Going off script. Okay. Now, Sugar Ray Robinson. This thing always, okay. Now, Sugar Ray fought out of the orthodox style, right? And he fought at lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, and light heavyweight. He was 5'11" tall. He had a reach of 72.5 inches, okay? And had a total of 201 fights in his career. He won 174. He lost 19. He had 6 draws, 2 no contests. And he had 109 wins by knockout, okay? That's in the top 10. You know, the top record for knockouts is 136, which will never be broken. Nobody will even fight 136 times anymore. Let's look at Sugar Ray's early life, okay? Now, he was born as Walker Smith Jr. in Alley, Georgia, to Walker Smith Sr. and Lila Hurst. He was the youngest of 3 children. His eldest sister Marie was born in 1917, and his other sister, Evelyn, in 1919. His father was a cotton, peanut, and corn farmer in Georgia, and he moved the family to Detroit, where he initially found work in construction. Now, according to Sugar Ray, his father later worked 2 jobs to support his family: cement mixer and sewer worker. He had to get up at 6 in the morning, and he'd get home close to midnight. Wow. I guess he had to go straight to bed when he got home. 6 in the morning and got back home at midnight. 6 days a week, okay? Now, the only day, Sugar Ray said, the only day he really saw his father was on Sunday. And he said, I always wanted to be with him more. But, Dad had to work and support y'all, so yeah. Now, his parents separated, and he moved with his mother to Harlem, New York at the age of 12. Robinson originally aspired to be a doctor, but after dropping out of DeWitt Clinton High School in the Bronx in the 9th grade, he switched his goal to becoming a boxer. When he was 14 years old, he attempted to enter his first boxing tournament, but he was told he first needed an AAU membership card, which he could not legally procure until he was 16, right? 2 years too young. But he circumvented the AAU's age requirement by using an ID card from a youth named Ray Robinson, who had quit boxing. So Walker began his amateur fighting career under that name, and it stuck with him throughout the rest of his amateur and professional career. That's how he got the name Sugar Ray. He used another kid's card because he was too young for AAU boxing. So he used the kid's card named Ray Robinson, who had quit boxing, and it stuck. Now later, when a lady in the audience at a fight in Watertown, New York said he was sweet as sugar, the name Sugar was added to Ray Robinson, and Sugar Ray Robinson was born, right? That's how he became Sugar Ray Robinson. Now, Sugar Ray idolized Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more in the building. What's up, Bruce Gas? Salute. Talking about Sugar Ray today, Mr. Pound for Pound himself. Salute to Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Fire channel. You like boxing history? That's the channel you want to check out, trust me. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Okay. Now, Sugar Ray idolized Henry Armstrong and Joe Louis as a youth, and actually had lived on the same block as Joe Louis in Detroit when he was 11, and Joe Louis was 17. Now, outside the ring, Sugar Ray got into trouble frequently when he was young and was involved with a street gang. He married at 16 years old, right? And him and his wife had one son, Ronnie. And then he divorced when he was 19, okay? Stayed married 3 years. First marriage, that was his first marriage. He was married like 3 times. Now, like I was saying, he reportedly finished his amateur career with an 85-0 record. But that was at Sugar Ray Robinson. He said he had a couple of fights as Walker Smith, which he lost. But at Sugar Ray Robinson, he was 85-0 with 69 knockouts. 40 coming in the first round, right? Like I said, now that record has been disputed. Now he won the New York Golden Gloves Featherweight Championship in 1939, defeating Louis Valentine on points, in the 3 rounds. And the New York Golden Gloves Lightweight Championship in 1940, defeating Andy Nonella by knockout in the 2nd round, okay? Now let's get into his professional career, okay? Let's look at his early career first. Gotta get on the right page here. There we go. There we go. Let's look at his early career first. Now, he made his professional debut on October 4th, 1940, winning by a 2nd round stoppage over Joe Echeverria, okay? Joe Echeverria. He fought 5 more times in 1940, winning all 4 by knockout. In 1941, he defeated world champion Sammy Angut. Defeated world champion Sammy Angut. Okay? Yeah. He defeated world champion Sammy Angut, but the title wasn't on the line. Future champion Marty Servo. Okay? And former champion Fritzy Zivik. The Robinson-Angut fight was held above the lightweight limit. Since Angut did not want to risk losing his lightweight title, okay? So, he didn't fight him. The title wasn't on the line. They fought above the lightweight limit, right? Because he didn't want to risk losing his title. And they saw this kid, Sugar Ray Robinson. He said, no, I'm not putting my title on the line against him. Then the Fritzy Zivik fight was at Madison Square Garden. Drew a crowd of 20,000 people, one of the largest in the arena to that date, right? Now, Sugar Ray won the first 5 rounds, according to Joseph C. Nichols of the New York Times, before Zivik came back to land several punches to Robinson's head in the 6th and 7th rounds. Okay? Now, Robinson controlled the next 2 rounds and had Zivik hurt in the 9th. After a close 10th round, Robinson was announced as the winner on all 3 scorecards. Now, he knocked out Zivik in the 10th round in the January 1942 rematch. And that was only the second time Zivik had been counted out in more than 150 fights. Right? Wow. Robinson knocked him down in the 9th and 10th rounds before the referee stopped the fight. Now, Zivik and his corner protested the stoppage. James P. Dawson of the New York Times stated, they were criticizing a humane act. The battle had been a slaughter, for want of a more delicate word. Then Sugar Ray won 4 consecutive fights by knockout before defeating Servo in a controversial split decision in their May rematch for Servo again. After winning 3 more fights, that's when he faced Jake LaMotta for the first time. You know, they had 6 of them, right? He first faced Jake for the first time, right? Who had become one of his more prominent rivals. That was the first time in October, right? For Jake LaMotta. He defeated LaMotta by a unanimous decision, although he failed to get Jake down. And Robinson weighed in at 145 pounds compared to 157 and a half for LaMotta. But he was able to control the fight from the outside for the entire fight and actually landed the harder punches during the fight. Yep. He's then won 4 more fights, including 2 against Izzy Jananzo from October 19th to December 14th. For his performances, Robinson was named Fighter of the Year for 1942. Okay? He finished 1942 with a total of 14 wins and no losses. He built a record of 40-0 before losing for the first time to just guess who? Jake LaMotta. Okay? Lost his first fight to Jake. In a 10-round rematch, right? LaMotta, who had a 16-pound weight advantage over Sugar Ray, knocked Robinson out of the ring in the 8th round and won the fight by decision. And the fight took place in Robinson's former hometown of Detroit and attracted a record crowd. Yep, that fight attracted a record crowd. And after being controlled by Robinson in the early rounds, LaMotta came back to take control in the later rounds. After winning the 3rd round, LaMotta, after winning that 3rd fight, after winning The third Jake LaMotta fight came less than 3 weeks later, right? The first one, I think, was February 5th, and the third one was February 24th. About 3 weeks later, they fought again, right? And Sugar Ray defeated, after that third fight with Jake LaMotta, he went up against his childhood idol, Henry Armstrong, right? And he beat Henry Armstrong, whom he only fought because Henry was in need of money, right? So he had a fight with Henry Armstrong. Henry Armstrong was older, late into his career, and needed some money. So Henry was Sugar Ray's idol growing up, so he gave him a fight to help him earn some money. And Robinson later stated that he carried the aged former champion through the fight, right? Yep, he admitted later on that he carried Henry through the fight. On February 27, 1943, Robinson was inducted into the United States Army. Okay? Inducted into the United States Army, where he was again referred to as Walker Smith. He had a 15-month military career. He served with Joe Louis, and the pair went on tours with the Special Services Division, where they performed exhibition fights in front of U.S. Army troops. Now, Sugar Ray got into trouble several times while in the military. He argued with superiors who he felt were discriminatory against him and refused to fight exhibitions when he was told African American soldiers were not allowed to attend. Okay? Yeah. In late March 1944, Robinson was stationed at Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn, New York, waiting to ship out to Europe, where he was scheduled to perform more exhibitions fights. But on March 29th, a couple of days before he was supposed to ship out, Robinson disappeared from his barracks. And when he woke up on April 5th in Fort J Hospital on Governor's Island, he had missed his sailing for Europe and was under suspicion of desertion. Under suspicion of desertion. Trump in the building. What's up, Trump? How are you? Salute. Trump in the building. Talking about Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Trump. Sugar Ray Robinson. I gotta get something to mark my place because I keep losing my spot. But yeah, he was under suspicion of desertion because he was supposed to sail for Europe in a few days. He disappeared. And by the time they found him, the ship was gone. So Sugar Ray reported falling down why the hell does it keep doing that? Falling down the stairs in his barracks on the 29th, but said that he had complete amnesia and he could not remember any events from that moment until the 5th. So he had a blank from the 29th of March to the 5th of April. Now, according to his file, a stranger had found him on the street on April 1st and helped him to a hospital. In his examination report, a doctor at Fort J concluded that Robinson's version of events were sincere. He was examined by military authorities who claimed he suffered from a mental deficiency. Robinson was granted an honorable discharge on June 3rd, 1944. Yep. And he later wrote that unfair press coverage of the incident had branded him as a deserter. And Robinson maintained his close friendship with Joe Louis from their time in military service. Okay? And the two went into business together after the war. And they planned to start a liquor distribution business in New York City, but were denied a license due to their race, right? And besides the loss to Jake LaMotta in the rematch, the only other mark on Robinson's record during this period was a 10-round draw against Jose Basura in 1945. Okay? Welterweight champion. Now, Technique in the building. What's up, Technique? All the heavyweights coming in here now. Trump, Technique, everybody. Salute, Technique. I must be doing something right, getting these big time, knowledgeable boxing supporters coming in here regular now. Salute Technique. Always a pleasure to see you. Okay. You were talking about Sugar Ray Robinson today. Let me get back to where I was at. Of course, I done lost my place, but I'll find it. A welterweight champion. That's where I was at. Now, by 1946, Sugar Ray had fought 75 fights. His record was 73 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, right? He had beaten every top contender in the welterweight division, but he refused to cooperate with the mafia, like I told you, who controlled much of boxing at the time. The mafia controlled who got title fights, and they controlled who won them, right? Yeah. Those 6 fights are legendary technique, and the fact that Sugar Ray won 5 out of 6 is very misleading because it was definitely not a one-sided series. I've seen all 6 of them, and I think it should be 3-3. Now, they gave Jake the second fight. I thought Jake won the 3rd fight and the 5th fight too. I thought it should be 3-3. Yeah. But it's 5 out of 6 for Sugar Ray, but that's misleading. It wasn't one-sided at all. Very competitive fights. Yeah. Now, the last one was kind of one-sided for Sugar Ray, but the rest, I thought it should be 3-3. Yeah. Okay, welterweight champion. Yeah, by 1946, he had beaten every top contender in the welterweight division, but he refused to cooperate with the mafia, which controlled much of boxing at the time. So Sugar Ray was denied a chance to fight for the welterweight championship. But he was finally given a chance to win a title against Tommy Bell. Okay, the mafia finally gave in because Sugar Ray wouldn't cooperate, and he still was going to make money because he was a popular fighter and people was going to pay to see him fight. So they finally gave him a shot against Tommy Bell, right? This was on December 20th, 1946. And he had already beaten Bell once by decision in 1945. And they fought for the title that was vacated by Marty Servo, who had himself lost twice to Sugar Ray in non-title fights. Now, in the fight with Bell, Sugar Ray, who only a month before had been involved in a 10-round brawl with Artie Levine, he was knocked down by Bell. And the fight was called a war, but Sugar Ray was able to pull out a close 15-round decision, winning the vacant world welterweight title. Okay? Then, in 1948, he fought 5 times, but only 1 fight was a title defense. Now, among the fighters he defeated in the non-title fights was future world champion Kid Gavilan. Yep, Kid Gavilan. I talked about him before. Kid Gavilan. I don't think that's Kid. That's the wrong thing. But anyway, Kid Gavilan was one of the fighters who fought the non-title fight. They had a close, controversial 10-round fight. Gavilan hurt Robinson several times in the fight, but Sugar Ray controlled the final rounds with a series of jabs and left hooks. In 1949, he fought 16 times. Wow. Okay, but again, only defended his title once. Wow, that's how they did it back then. He fought 16 times that year, but only 1 fight was a title fight. That's crazy. Wow. 16 fights in 1949, but only 1 was a title fight, right? And that title fight was a rematch with Kid Gavilan. And Sugar Ray once again won by decision. And the first half of the fight was very close, but Sugar Ray took control in the second half. Gavilan would have to wait 2 more years to begin his own historic reign as welterweight champion. That was after Sugar Ray had vacated and went to middleweight. But we're going to get there. Now, only boxer that matched Sugar Ray that year was Henry Brim, who fought him to a 10-round draw in Buffalo, New York. Now, in 1950, Sugar Ray fought 19 times. He successfully defended his welterweight title for the last time against Charlie Fusari. Charlie Fusari. Okay, here's Charlie. Now, Robinson won a lopsided 15-round decision, knocking Fusari down once. He donated all but $1 of his purse for the Fusari fight to cancer research. Okay. In 1950, he fought George Costner. That's George on the right. That's not Sugar Ray, but that's George. I couldn't find him and George, but that's George on the right. 1950, he fought George Costner, who had also taken to calling himself Sugar, and stated in the weeks leading up to the fight that he was the real Sugar, right? And Sugar Ray told him when they was in the middle getting their instructions, Sugar Ray said, "We better touch gloves because this is the only round of this fight," right? And he said, "Your name ain't Sugar, mine is." He then knocked Costner out in 2 minutes and 49 seconds of the first round. Yeah, so I guess we knew who the real Sugar was after that. Now, the Jimmy Doyle incident, this is very interesting. Listen to this, okay? Jimmy Doyle incident. That's him and Jimmy Doyle. Now, in June 1947, at the 4 non-title fights, Sugar Ray was scheduled to defend his title for the first time in a fight against Jimmy Doyle. Sugar Ray initially backed out of the fight because he had a dream that he was going to kill Doyle, right? He initially backed out of the fight because he had a dream he was going to kill Doyle. Now, a priest and a minister convinced Sugar Ray to go through with the fight. His dream ended up becoming a reality. On June 25th, 1947, Robinson dominated Doyle and scored a decisive knockout in the 8th round that knocked Doyle unconscious and resulted in Doyle's death later that night. Ain't that something? He had a dream he was going to kill a man, and it really came true. But guess what? Now, Robinson said that the impact of Doyle's death was very trying. And after Doyle's death, criminal charges were threatened against Robinson in Cleveland, up to and including murder. None actually materialized because they can't do that. How are you going to prove intent? It's a boxing match. Both fighters signed on a dotted line. They tried that with Max Baer because he killed a couple people in the ring. Well, no, died during the fight. He didn't kill him, but they tried that with Max Baer to bring charges on him. But how are you going to prove intent? It's a boxing match. So they didn't bring charges in either case. But Max Baer was suspended by the California Boxing Commission, State Boxing Commission. I don't understand why. But they threatened Sugar Ray with murder charge, but never happened. After learning of, now listen to this part. After learning of Doyle's intention of using the fight's money to buy his mother a house, Sugar Ray gave Doyle's mother the money from his next 4 fights so she could purchase herself a home, fulfilling her son's intention. That was nice. I thought that was very interesting. Okay, now, middleweight champion. Okay, moving to middleweight. And fight Jake LaMotta like 3 more times. Now, it is stated in Sugar Ray's autobiography that one of the main considerations for his move up to middleweight was the increasing difficulty he was having in making the 147-pound limit, right? Welterweight limit. But the move up would also prove beneficial financially, as the division then contained some of the biggest names in boxing. Yeah, middleweight in the 1950s was the best middleweights ever in the 50s. Watch some of these names he fight up against. The 50s was fire in middleweight. Vying for the Pennsylvania State middleweight title in 1950, Robinson defeated Robert Villamain. Later that year, in defense of the crown, he defeated Jose Basora. Okay, defeated Jose Basora. Okay, with whom he had previously had a draw with. Robinson's 52nd first round knockout of Basora set a record that would stand for 38 years. And that record was broke by Mike Tyson when he knocked out Marvis Frazier in 1986. So it was 36 years, not 38. Yes, Sugar Ray had the record for knocking out Basora in 50 seconds, but Mike Tyson knocked Frazier out in 30 seconds. 36 years. In October 1950, Robinson knocked out Bobo Olson. a future middleweight title holder. You listen to these names at middleweight. On February 14th, 1951, Robinson and LaMotta met. This is the sixth time. This is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Sixth and final time. The fight will become known as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, right? Big Dre, hashtag JBT in the building. What's up, Big Dre? Oh, you and J Hardcore made it back? Okay. I missed the interview. I have to watch it on the replay. Salute, Big Dre, hashtag JBT. That's the JBT spokesperson there. Big Dre, salute. Yeah, this fight became known as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, okay, between Sugar Ray and Jake LaMotta. This was sixth, their final fight. Now, Robinson won the undisputed world middleweight title in this fight with a 13th round technical knockout. He outboxed LaMotta for the first 10 rounds, then unleashed a series of savage combinations on Jake for 3 rounds, finally stopping him. Jake had the title too. Finally stopping Jake for the first time in their legendary 6-fight series and giving LaMotta his first legitimate knockout loss in 95 professional fights. Now, LaMotta had been stopped by Billy Fox earlier in his career, but that fight was later to have been fixed, and LaMotta was sanctioned for letting Fox win, right? That fight and some other. See, that fight was a fight Jake testified in Congress that he threw that one for the mafia because they offered him $20,000, and more importantly, they let him get a title shot if he threw the fight. And this guy Fox, he didn't have any skills. He was winning all these fights because the mafia was paying people to take dives. When they got the mafia out, Fox had 13 more fights. He lost 8 of them, got stopped 5 times. So once the mafia got out of it, his lack of skills really showed. But Jake lost to him in a fixed fight. So when Sugar Ray stopped Jake, that was really the only time he was stopped in his career, right? And that fight and some of the other fights in the 6-fight Robinson-LaMotta rivalry was depicted, talking about the Jake and Sugar Ray fight, was in the Martin Scorsese film Raging Bull. And Jake said, guess what Jake said? Jake LaMotta said, I fought Sugar Ray Robinson so often, I almost got sugar diabetes. That's what Jake said. He almost got sugar diabetes. He fought Sugar Ray Robinson so much. Yeah, okay. Now, after winning his second world title, Sugar Ray embarked on a European tour, which took him all over the continent of Europe, right? And he traveled with his flamboyant flamingo pink Cadillac, which caused quite a stir in Paris, and an entourage of 13 people. That's where all his money went to. Because he went through $4 million in his career. In the 40s, $4 million was a lot. You know? What is that like now? 200 million or something like that? It's up there. Yeah. He blew through all that money. And some people he took just for laughs. He was a hero in France due to his recent defeat of Jake LaMotta. The French people hated Jake because he beat Marcel Cerdan in 1949, one of the best French fighters of all time. Took his belt from him. And Cerdan died in a plane crash on his way to the United States for a rematch with Jake. So the French people felt if Jake had never took his title, Cerdan wouldn't have been on that plane coming over here trying to get it back. But they hated Jake. And Robinson met President of France, Vincent Auriol, at a ceremony attended by France's social upper crust. And during his fight in Berlin against Gerhard Heck, that's another one of the middleweights under 50. Did the music stop? No. Maybe I should turn it up. There's Gerhard Heck, the German guy in Sugar Ray. Yeah, he fought him on his European tour, Gerhard Heck. Robinson was disqualified when he knocked his opponent out with a punch to the kidney. Now, see, kidney punch was legal in the United States, but it was illegal in Europe. So Sugar Ray got him with a kidney punch. He was disqualified. Salute, Miss Cass. Hashtag JBT. Yeah, kidney punch was illegal in Europe. I don't know if it is nowadays. I've seen people in the UK hit people with the kidney punch. I guess it's legal now. But back then it wasn't. It was legal in the United States, though. but the fight was later declared a no contest. In London, he lost the world title. Another one of those great 50s middleweights, Randolph Turpin. Told you about them 50s, man. He lost to Randolph Turpin in a sensational fight. 3 months later, in a rematch in front of 60,000 people at the Polo Grounds in New York, he knocked Turpin out in 10 rounds to recover the title. In that fight, Robinson was leading on all the cards, but he was cut by Turpin. With the fight in jeopardy of being stopped on cuts, Robinson let loose on Turpin, knocking him down, then getting him to the ropes and unleashing a series of punches that caused the referee to stop the fight. Yep. We're winding down. What time we got? We probably get some late time today. Now, okay. Following Robinson's victory, getting his belt back from Turpin, residents of Harlem, New York, danced in the streets. Yeah, 50s was the middleweight. You know, Sugar Ray came to middleweight. Jake LaMotta was there. Marcel Cerdan, Gerhard Hecht, Bobo Olsen, Gene Former, Carmen Vasilio. He didn't even fight Dick Taggart. Dick Taggart was in the 50s too. That was the greatest decade of all for middleweights, I think. Now in 1951, Sugar Ray was named Ring Magazine's Fighter of the Year. That was his second time. I think he got it in 42. Yeah. In 1952, he fought a rematch with Bobo Olsen. I haven't got out of place. Wait, oh no, I don't know. That's Bobo. Wait a minute now. Gerhard Hecht, Randolph Turpin. That might be Bobo Olsen there. I think that's Turpin. Okay. Yeah, that's Bobo Olsen right there. I don't think so. That might be Joey Maxim. But anyway, I missed Bobo Olsen. I missed one. Oh, no, I didn't. I think I got Bobo Olsen and Maxim mixed up. There's Olsen. Yeah, I got out of order. That's Bobo Olsen. Yeah. He fought a rematch with Bobo Olsen, winning by decision. He next defeated former champion Rocky Graziano by a third round knockout. Then challenged world light heavyweight champion Joey Maxim. Yeah, here's that fight, Joey Maxim. Now this is a significant fight here because he was going for his third division. This was at Yankee Stadium. Robinson built the lead on all three judges' scorecards, and he was leading in the 13th round. But 103-degree heat temperature in the ring took its toll. Before the referee Ruby Goldstein was the first victim of the heat, and he had to be replaced by referee Ray Miller. And then the fast-moving Robinson was the heat's next victim. At the end of round 13, he collapsed and failed to answer the bell for the next round, suffering the only knockout of his career. Yeah, that's how he was looking leading up to that. Then he got, look at it. That's how he was looking leading up to that 13th round before he collapsed. And the referee went down first. Yeah, that he took his toll on him. Yeah, that was the fight against Joey Maxim. Did I say Gene Former? One of the 50s middleweights. That was the only time he was stopped in his career. Yep. On June 25th, 1952, after the Maxim loss, Robinson gave up his title and retired. He still had the middleweight title. So he gave it up and retired with a record of 131 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest, right? And then he began a career in show business, singing and tap dancing. After about 3 years, the decline of his businesses and the lack of success in his performing career made him decide to return to boxing. He resumed training in 1954. Then he made his comeback. In 1955, Sugar Ray returned to the ring. Now, although he had been inactive for 2.5 years, his work as a dancer kept him in peak physical condition. In his autobiography, Robinson stated that in the weeks leading up to his debut for a dancing engagement in France, he ran 5 miles every morning and then danced for 5 hours each night. He even stated that the training he did in his attempts to establish a career as a dancer were harder than any he undertook during his boxing career. That's interesting. He said training to be a dancer was harder than anything he did during his boxing career. Wow. Now, he won 5 fights in 1955 during his comeback before losing a decision to Ralph Tiger Jones. But he bounced back and defeated Rocky Castellani by a split decision. Okay? Then he challenged Bobo Olsen for the world middleweight title. He won the middleweight championship for the 3rd time with a 2nd-round knockout, his 3rd victory over Olsen. After his comeback performance in 1955, Robinson expected to be named Fighter of the Year, but the title went to welterweight champion Carmen Basilio. Basilio's handlers had lobbied heavily for the award on the basis that Basilio had never won the award, right? And Robinson later described this as the biggest disappointment of his professional career. He said, "I haven't forgotten it to this day, and I never will." Robinson wrote in his autobiography, he really wanted it that year. His comeback, that would have been big to have been selected as Fighter of the Year, but he didn't get it. And Robinson and Olsen fought for the last time in 1956. And Robinson closed the 4-fight series with a 4th-round knockout. In 1957, he went up against Gene Fullmer. Okay? Fullmer. Now, Fullmer used his aggressive forward-moving style to control Robinson and knocked him down in the fight. But Sugar Ray noticed that Fullmer was vulnerable to the left hook. Fullmer headed into their May rematch as a 3-1 favorite. In the first 2 rounds, Fullmer won the first fight. In the rematch, in the first 2 rounds, Robinson followed Fullmer around the ring. But in the 3rd round, he changed tactics and made Fullmer come to him. At the start of the 4th round, Robinson came out on the attack and stunned Fullmer. And when Fullmer returned with his own punches, Robinson traded with him, as opposed to clinching as he had done in their earlier fight. The fight was fairly even after 4 rounds, but in the 5th, Robinson was able to win the title back for a 4th time by knocking Fullmer out with a lightning, fast, powerful left hook. Boxing critics have referred to the left hook, which knocked Fullmer out, as the perfect punch. It marked the first time in 44 career fights that Fullmer had been knocked out. And when someone asked Robinson after the fight how far the left hook had traveled, Robinson replied, "I can't say how far it traveled, but he got the message." He got the message. Okay. Now, okay, stay there. Okay. Base Gotti. What's happening? Did I say that right? Base Gotti in the building. Salute. How are you today? We winding down. I'll talk about Sugar Ray Robinson, Mr. Pound for Pound himself. Let's finish it off here. Now, later that year, he lost his title to Carmen Basilio, right? In a rugged, let me come down some on this. But he lost his title to Carmen Basilio later that year, right? Him and Carmen. In a rugged, I lost my place. He lost the title to Carmen Basilio in a rugged 15-round fight in front of 38,000 at Yankee Stadium. But he regained it for a 2nd time when he beat Basilio in the rematch. Now, Robinson struggled to make weight. They had to go without food for nearly 20 hours leading up to the fight. He clearly should have been retired by now, but he was having financial problems, right? And he badly damaged Basilio's eye early in the fight, and by the 7th round, it was swollen shut. The 2 judges gave the fight to Robinson by wide margins, 72-64 and 71-64. And the referee, who was the third judge at that time, scored the fight for Basilio, 69-64, and was loudly booed by the crowd of 19,000 when his decision was announced. And the first fight won the Fight of the Year award from the Ring magazine for 1957. And the second fight won the Fight of the Year award for 1958. Like I was saying, now he's clearly in decline, okay? Robinson knocked out Bob Young in the second round in Boston in his only fight in 1959. A year later, he defeated Paul Pender. Okay? A year later, he defeated Paul Pender. Now, Robinson entered the fight as a 5-1 favorite, but lost a split decision in front of 10,608 people at the Boston Garden. Okay? The day before the fight, Pender commented that he planned to start slowly before coming on late. And he did just that and outlasted the aging Robinson, who, despite opening a cut over Pender's eye in the 8th round, was largely ineffective in the later rounds. An attempt to regain the crown for an unheard of 6th time proved beyond Robinson's Despite Robinson's efforts, Pender won by decision in the rematch. And on December 3rd of that same year, Robinson and Foreman fought Gene Foreman again. All right. Robinson and Foreman fought for a 4th time, with Foreman retaining the WBA middleweight title by a unanimous decision. The fight would be Sugar Ray's last title fight. He spent the rest of the 1960s fighting 10-round contests, clearly fighting just for money now, right? In October 1961, Danny Moyer, okay? In October 1961, Robinson defeated future world champion Denny Moyer by unanimous decision. A 12-5 favorite, the 41-year-old Robinson defeated the 22-year-old Moyer by staying on the outside rather than engaging him. In their rematch, 4 months later, Moyer defeated Robinson on points as he pressed the action and made Robinson back up throughout the fight. Moyer won 7-3 on all 3 judges' scorecards. Now, Robinson lost twice more in 1962 before winning 6 consecutive fights against mostly lesser opposition. In February 1963, Robinson lost by unanimous decision to former world champion and fellow Hall of Famer Joey Giardello. Giardello knocked Robinson down in the 4th round, and the 43-year-old Robinson took him to the count of 9 to rise to his feet. Robinson was also nearly knocked down in the 6th round. Yep, almost knocked down in the 6th round, but was saved by the bell. He rallied in the 7th and 8th rounds before struggling in the final 2 rounds. He then embarked on an 18-month boxing tour of Europe. Now, Robinson's second no-contest fight came in September 1965 in Norfolk, Virginia, in a fight with an opponent who turned out to be an imposter. Boxer Neil Morrison, at the time a fugitive and accused robber, signed up for the fight as Bill Henderson, a capable club fighter. And the fight was a fiasco, with Morrison being knocked down twice in the 1st round and once in the 2nd, before the disgusted referee, who said Henderson put up no fight, walked out of the ring. Robinson was initially given a TKO at 120 of the 2nd round after the obviously frightened Morrison laid himself down on the canvas. Yeah, it was a fiasco. And then he laid himself down on the canvas. Robinson fought for the final time in November 1965. He lost the unanimous decision to Joey Archer. Last fight, 1965. He lost to Joey Archer. Got unanimous decision. Time to get out, Sugar Ray. Yeah. Lost unanimous decision to Joey Archer. Famed sports author Pete Hamill mentions that one of the saddest experiences of his life was watching Robinson lose to Archer. He was even knocked down, and Hamill pointed out that Archer had no knockout punch at all. Archer admitted afterward that it was only the second time he had knocked an opponent down in his career. The crowd of 9,000 at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, gave Robinson several standing ovations, even while he was being thoroughly beaten by Archer. On November 11, 1965, Robinson announced his retirement from boxing, saying, "I hate to go too long campaigning for another chance," but he had already done that way too long. Robinson retired from boxing with a record of 174 wins, 19 losses, 6 draws, 2 no contests, with 109 knockouts in 201 professional fights, ranking him among the all-time leaders in knockouts. Let's look at his later life. Later life for Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay, winding down. In his autobiography, Robinson states that by 1965, he was broke, having spent all of the $4 million in earnings he made inside and out of the ring during his career. A month after his last fight, Robinson was honored with a Sugar Ray Robinson night on December 10, 1965, in New York's Madison Square Garden. During the ceremony, he was honored with a massive trophy, but there was not a piece of furniture in his small Manhattan apartment with legs strong enough to support it. Robinson was elected to the Ring Magazine Boxing Hall of Fame in 1967, 2 years after he retired, and the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990, the inaugural year that it opened. In the late 1960s, he acted in some television shows like Mission Impossible, an episode of Land of the Giants called Giants and All That Jazz, and he played as a washed-up boxer, opening a nightclub. And he also appeared in a few films, including the Frank Sinatra cop movie, The Detective, 1968. He played in a cult classic, Candy, also in 1968, and The Thriller, The Todd Killings, 1971, as a police officer. In 1969, he founded the Sugar Ray Robinson Youth Foundation for the inner city Los Angeles area. The foundation does not sponsor a boxing program. He was diagnosed with diabetes mellitus that was treated with insulin, okay? Then his death. In Robinson's last years, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and diabetes. He died in Los Angeles, California from heart disease on April 12, 1989, at the age of 67. Robinson is buried at Inglewood Park Cemetery, Inglewood, California. Take a look at his personal life. Personal life. I think he was married like 3 times. Okay? Personal life. Robinson married Marjorie Joseph in 1938. 1938. The marriage was annulled the same year. Their son, Ronnie Smith, was born on September 25th, 1938. Robinson met his second wife, Edna Mae Holly, a noted dancer who performed at the Cotton Club and toured Europe with Duke Ellington and Cab Calloway. Now, according to Robinson, he met her at a local pool he frequented after his boxing workouts. In an attempt to get her attention, he pushed her into the pool one day and said it was an accident. Now, after this attempt was met with disdain, he appeared at the nightclub she danced at and introduced himself. Soon the couple were dating, and they married in 1944. They had one son, Ray Robinson Jr., born in 1949, before their acrimonious divorce in 1962. In April 1959, Robinson's eldest sister, Marie, died of cancer at the age of 41. In December 1959, Barbara Johnson of South Ozone Park, a singer and dancer, brought a paternity suit in New York against the former champs, claiming Sugar Ray Robinson was the father of her son Paul, born in 1953. On May 18, 1963, Jet magazine reported that the court had ruled in Robinson's favor. Okay? Robinson is quoted exulting at the win, saying, "Justice triumphed." In 1965, Robinson married Millie Wiggins, and the couple settled in Los Angeles. When Robinson was sick with his various ailments, his son accused the elder Robinson's wife of keeping him under the influence of medication to manipulate him. According to Ray Robinson Jr., when Robinson Sr.'s mother died, he could not attend his mother's funeral because Millie was drugging and controlling him. But Robinson had been hospitalized the day before his mother's death due to agitation, which caused his blood pressure to rise. Robinson Jr. and Edna Mae, his sister, likewise said that Millie kept him away from Robinson during his last years. Wow. Now, Robinson was a Freemason, a membership shared with a number of other athletes, including fellow boxer Jack Dempsey. Let's look at Sugar Ray's boxing style before we go. Boxing style, okay? Now, rhythm is everything in boxing. Every move you make starts with your heart, and that's in rhythm, or you're in trouble. Ray Robinson. Quote from Sugar Ray Robinson. Robinson was the modern definition of a boxer puncher. Yeah, that's what we call a boxer puncher nowadays. He was able to fight almost any style. He could come out one round brawling, the next counter punching, and the next fighting on the outside, flicking his jab. Robinson would use his formless style to exploit his opponent's weaknesses. He also possessed great speed and precision. He fought in a very conventional way with a firm jab, but threw hooks and uppercuts and flurries in an unconventional way. Okay? He possessed tremendous versatility, according to boxing analyst Bert Sugar. Bert Sugar said Robinson could deliver a knockout blow going backward. Robinson was efficient with both hands, and he displayed a variety of effective punches. According to a Time article in 1951, Robinson's repertoire, thrown with equal speed and power by either hand, includes every standard punch from a bolo to a hook, and a few he makes up on the spur of the moment. Robinson commented that once fighters have trained to a certain level, their techniques and responses become almost reflexive. Robinson said, "You don't think, it's all instinct. If you stop to think, you're done." Legacy. Legacy. Sugar Ray Robinson's legacy. Sugar Ray has been ranked as the greatest boxer of all time by sports writers, fellow boxers, and trainers, and Cast Sports the Box historian. The phrase pound for pound was created by sports writers for him during his career as a way to compare boxers irrespective of weight. Hall of Fame fighters Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Roberto Duran, and Sugar Ray Leonard have ranked Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest pound-for-pound boxer in history. The Ring magazine ranked him as the best pound-for-pound fighter in history. In 1999, Sugar Ray Robinson was named welterweight of the century, middleweight of the century, and overall fighter of the century by the Associated Press. In 2007, ESPN.com featured the piece 50 Greatest Boxers of All Time, in which it named Sugar Ray Robinson the top boxer in history. In 2003, the Ring magazine ranked him number 11 in the list of all-time greatest punchers. Robinson was also ranked as the #1 welterweight and the #1 pound-for-pound boxer of all time by the International Boxing Research Organization, the IBRO. He was inducted into the Madison Square Garden Walk of Fame at its inception in 1992. Robinson was one of the first African Americans to establish himself as a star outside sports, along with Joe Louis. He was an integral part of the New York social scene in the 1940s and 1950s. His glamorous restaurant, Sugar Ray's, hosted stars including Frank Sinatra, Jackie Gleason, Nat King Cole, Joe Louis, and Lena Horne. Robinson was known as a flamboyant personality outside the ring. He combined striking good looks with charisma and a flair for the dramatic. He drove a flamingo pink Cadillac and was an accomplished singer and dancer who once pursued a career in the entertainment industry. Okay? Yes, he did. According to ESPN's Ron Flatter, he was the pioneer of boxing's bigger-than-life entourages, including a secretary, a barber, a masseur, a voice coach, a coterie of trainers, beautiful women, a dwarf mascot, and lifelong manager, George Gainford. When Robinson first traveled to Paris, a steward referred to his companions as his entourage. Although Robinson said he did not like the word's literal definition of attendants, since he felt they were his friends, he liked the word itself and began to use it in regular conversation when referring to them. In 1962, in an effort to persuade Robinson to return to Paris, where he was still a national hero, the French promised to bring over his masseur, his hairdresser, a man who would whistle while he trained, and his trademark Cadillac. This larger-than-life persona made him the idol of millions of African-American young youth in the 1950s. Robinson inspired several other fighters who took the nickname Sugar in homage to him. Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Shane Mosley, and an MMA fighter, Sugar Rashad Evans. Sugar Ray Leonard said, "Someone once said there was a comparison between Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson. Believe me, there is no comparison. Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest." Lawrence Holder wrote a play about him entitled Sugar Ray in 1916. There you have it, the life and career of Sugar Ray Robinson, Mr. Pound for Pound himself. All right, it's Friday at the end of another big week of boxing history. Appreciate everybody for rocking with me. We'll be back next week. Monday is going to be Fantasy Matchups Monday. Colonel Sweet Pea Whitaker versus the Legends. People seem to like that. I got 1,000-something views the other week, and this week they tried to sabotage me and had some technical difficulties for like 20 minutes and didn't even get 100. But hey, stuff happened. But we still got some more great JBT shows coming up behind me. Ace, appreciate you, Ace. Ace is in the building. Salute. Appreciate you 1,000%, Ace. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And we got Just Do Boxing coming up at 4 p.m. Then we got we don't have Friday Night Hangout anymore. We got BVO Boxing TV. He was Monday through Thursday, but he'll be here at 8 now, along with D Free, Prize Fighter, Crush the Legend will be in there. So they're gonna be putting it down at 8 p.m. Check them out. 9 p.m. the Mighty Rise podcast with Senior and Coach Squeeze, and you might see both of Javante Tank Davis's coaches, Calvin Ford, Kenny Ellis. Who knows? You might see the face of boxing himself in there. Who knows? Might see Javante Tank Davis in there one of these days. Then at 10 p.m. on Friday, we close it down with the Angry White Men, D1 and William Old School Rant. And D1 has reported earlier in the day that he was very angry I don't know what he's talking about. They're always very angry. So yeah, that ain't no news, D1. You always angry. But they'll be here at 10 o'clock. Don't miss it. Friday show. D1 and William Old School of Rant. Okay? And that's it. That's how we do it. And we'll be back next week with another week of JBT shows. I'll be back with another week of boxing history. And hope everybody enjoyed today's show. Appreciate you, Jerome Hattie, Thomas Hill. What we got? Damn, let me put the link in. We got 15 minutes. I forgot. Why did somebody remind me? Yeah, we still got 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link in there. I seen Jerome Hattie and Thomas Hill. Those are two regulars on the link. I had forgot about the link. Told you I'm old. I can't remember nothing. But the link is coming in there. Why didn't y'all remind me? Well, they did remind me. I saw their names in there. Oh, sure, I forgot. Okay, invite. Right. Okay. But everybody ready for the weekend? It's here. Like it just left and it's back already. Well, I was just asking everybody how was their weekend. It was Monday. Damn. Time to say have a good weekend. It's crazy. Told y'all they went up in a space shuttle and in and out the atmosphere and speeded the Earth up. That can happen. I'm not crazy. And you know, the government, would never tell us about it. They don't know how to get it back to turning normal, so time is going faster because they done got the Earth going around faster. Think about it. That's a very big possibility, man. I'm serious. And that's why it's going so fast. Time is going so fast now. Instead of a second being 1001, 1002, 1003, the Earth going fast, 1001, 1002, 1003. And so a minute going by faster, then an hour is faster, the day is faster, the night is faster, the week is faster, everything going by faster. And they would never tell us, you know. They leave us in the dark about everything. We don't know what's going on. And they can't fix it. They got an International Space Station up. So yeah. Oh, there's Thomas Hill. What's up, T Hill?
Man, you called me up here, so I can.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
I was perfectly content with the content that you gave us. You gave us great content, man. Good show.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes. I try to take the show to about 3:30 and get like 30 minutes of link time at the end. You know. It's appreciated.
It's appreciated, but I mean, you know, it's other people that definitely can accommodate themselves and hit that link, man. Discuss, you know, the life and career of Sugar Ray Robinson and the impact he had upon boxing.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them style, man, you know.
Yeah, and on top of that, you know, there's not one person that speak ill of him.
None.
You got people who will speak ill of certain folk.
Yeah.
And then there's some people that are untouchable. He's one of the untouchables.
Yeah. Fans, boxers, the media, nobody, man, speaks ill of him. I can't find anybody, you know.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. You know, and it's a travesty that, you know, a lot of these people don't get to have the respect today that these people tried to earn back then for them.
Yeah.
Like, it was hard to be a fighter back in his time.
Yeah, no.
Because you got to realize that, you know, only time they're ever going to root for you is if you're really fighting against somebody that's going against their country.
Right.
Other than that, they don't want you to win. They don't want you to thrive. They don't want you to prosper. They don't pay you the same as they pay the other fighters that you're fighting that don't look like you. Yeah. They had to go through a whole lot of stuff, man. And
yeah, like I was saying, man. Remember him and Joe Louis tried to open a liquor distribution company in New York. They couldn't get a license because of their race.
Exactly. Right? Exactly.
As famous as they were still discriminated against. So you can imagine an everyday person what they went through, you know.
Because at the end of the day, you still a Negro.
Right.
and you can entertain them. You just can't sit at the table with them.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand why so many people tear down these fighters of today.
Yeah. No, me neither.
They don't recognize. Look, man. I mean, hell. You what do you know about the pit bull?
You talking about the fighter, the pit bull?
No, the dog, the pit bull.
Oh, not too much. I just know they mean. I stay away from them.
They mean and they do what?
They bite you.
Yeah, they were bred to fight.
But okay, right.
Yeah.
That's
Who
true.
bred the dogs to fight?
People.
Yeah, which type of people did this?
Oh, you tell me. I don't want to say.
Man, you know what I'm saying? And yet and still, Michael Vick gets condemned as the one who's the proprietor of all this stuff.
Yeah.
He doing what many people still do today.
Yeah.
That don't look like him. And yet they wanted to bury him because of that. Now, granted, I don't believe in or do I advocate fighting dogs.
No.
But that's what they bred them dogs to do. And he bought them from people who actually do that don't look like him.
Mm-hmm.
And yet and still, he's the reason why the dog is being done that way, and he needs to be made an example of. See, all our lives we've been. Go ahead.
I don't think he was actually doing it, was it? It was his family members or something, wasn't it? Just using his house or something like that, wasn't it?
But that, see, he's got to have culpability because it's at his place of residence.
That's right. That's how.
So he got to be complicit to a certain extent, man. And with that, you know, he was wrong.
That's right.
But to the point where they try to take his whole well-being away from him.
Yeah, they went too far.
They called him scum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they called him scum. And then not too long after that, somebody went, like I said, man, went and shot up a church. After asking these people to pray for him, and he was a victim. So one dude's a scum and one dude's a victim. One dude is fighting dogs, not really killing them, but just fighting dogs. And some of them do die. The other dude deliberately took lives, and he was the victim. The other one's scum. Come on, man. So we got fighters that had to go through that on a regular basis so that people could fight today and have opportunity. And we're the people that's tearing them down. It just bothers me, man, that we got so many narratives about fighters, man, and we say stuff to hurt or injure another fighter's earning potential because you're trying to warp the perception of it, so people will say, like, nah, we really don't need to support him. And we do that, and it's not just on Tank's behalf, it's on Devin's behalf, Shakur's behalf, and it seems like they're the ones that's getting done that way.
Yeah,
Bud too.
Johnny Williams. Yeah.
And I'm just tired of it, man. It's like, yo, all I know is that for the most part, them people are not afraid to get in that ring and fight another person. Now, they might not want to lose their O, but they're not afraid to fight. And if you, and if you can't see that nowadays, they broker fights differently, man, and that's on you.
Like you said,
a lot of times.
For whatever reason, they might not want to fight a certain fighter, but it's not fright. It's not scared. It's other reasons, you know, like business, the O or whatever, but it's not being scared. That's the last reason they wouldn't get in there.
So I would say take a look at Sugar Ray Robinson. Better yet, look at his losses and watch the fight without the commentary. Just watch it with no sound. And then you tell me if a lot of those fights that he lost, he actually lost. And then you can see why they're fighting today. He had to fight against a standard, a system. He had to fight against the fact that, you know what, they don't really like you and they don't want you to do well.
They don't want you to win.
And it was really the other people trying to stop him from being successful to provide for his family like they would allow other people to do. So why are we doing it today?
I don't know.
There's a whole section of fighters that could not fight for titles because people were afraid that they might lose.
Yeah, the murderers roll. They was denied.
So, you know, they don't never get the full, and that's why I say this legacy stuff overblown, bro. Their legacy was already written in stone. They wouldn't let them have a legacy, dog, because they was afraid that they might do well against people. And sometimes it was even other black fighters. So, you know, they partook in that. Why do we got to partake in anything, man? Stand up.
Yeah, a lot of black fighters wouldn't fight him either. Sugar Ray ducked Charlie Burley. His manager admitted that. He said he kept Sugar Ray away from him. You know?
Pretty sure they was advised not to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Sugar Ray Robinson was the business. But that just lets you know, man.
Burley had to be nice because he made it to the Hall of Fame and didn't get the opportunity to fight for titles and stuff, man. He still made it to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. You know? Just imagine how good he would have been if he would have got the opportunities and stuff.
Because if you didn't get the opportunity, you never really had a chance to fail at that. So therefore, they can't really hold that against you. And then I'm pretty sure they took in context the fact that he wasn't getting the opportunities because many people felt like they couldn't beat him. So he had to be somewhat of a fight. And I mean, he did the work that he did give you, and that's what I'm saying. And I'm only gonna use
it's on right now.
Exactly, it sure is. It sure is.
Okay. What was you saying, T?
I was just gonna say, and that's why you gotta appreciate what the people doing right now. You mean to tell me the fact that somebody that is as small as Tank is fighting somebody as big as Barrios is, and as accomplished as Barrios is, Barrios is no light work. And to be able to dictate the fight the way that he did, bro, that dude is not special.
Yeah, Barrios ain't no lightweight at all, no slouch at all, man. That's Keith Thurman.
Yeah, Keith Thurman, understand now. Granted,
Keith Thurman and those.
Now, granted, Keith Thurman did handle Barrios, but it wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy. And Usyk, he beat Usyk, didn't he? He gave Keith a tough fight, but he beat Usyk. Keith couldn't stop him. Didn't he go to distance with Keith?
Yeah, he went to distance.
Yeah. And Usyk, beat Usyk. And he said he willing to fight Boots. I figured Barrios would fight if they could make that fight. Barrios ain't ducking no smoke. No.
Well, I hope the fight happens and everybody gets to see how special Boots is and how good Barrios is. I mean,
what do you think about tomorrow, T Hill? Since you're right on the eve of it, the big rematch.
We're going back to what we were saying yesterday. I didn't get a chance to thoroughly finish it, but
yeah.
I thought last fight that Foster, I don't know if it was because he was fatigued from the weight cut or whatever the case may be, but he just, like the last 4 rounds, he didn't really put the amount of quality of work that he put in the prior 8 rounds before it. And because of that, he allowed it a certain optic. And when you give it a certain optic, man, and you got to realize that no matter what, both fighters have pigmentation, but one had a little bit more. Yeah. That stuff plays a factor.
No question at the end. He wasn't doing shit, but he was still aggressive.
That stuff plays a factor, man, and it allows them to look at the fight in a different light. And now those things that probably ain't looking like they're landing, they look like they're doing much more than what you're doing. So he allowed that person a chance to have that fight taken from him, and that was on him. And I think he fully understands that now. Sometimes, unfortunately, you got to get effed for you to understand that you ain't getting effed no more. And now I think that he understands. Exactly what he did, So I believe that this fight will be good. I believe that he will be a lot more advantageous of certain circumstances and situations because he's knowing that at any moment they could take it from him.
That's right. If you let it go to those
really truly want.
So what happened last time,
Yeah. So I think that we get a good fight because I believe that SHYOW is a great fighter. I just think that he could be much, much more effective if he knew how to punch correctly. Yeah. And I think that the undercard is a very good undercard too. So we're gonna get action. We're gonna get action.
Great undercard, man. Yeah, I went over it. Abraham Nova and Jahai Tucker. Somebody else. Oh, Muratalo on it too. Raven Muratalo's co-main,
Remember Muratalo talking about like he need to be seeing somebody.
I think he's about ready right now, Muratalo. All those youngsters, I picked them. I would like to see him and Keyshawn. Muratalo and Keyshawn.
I would love to see that fight.
I would absolutely love to see
that fight.
the ball father ain't
But
gonna,
see,
how the
this
ball
is the
father.
thing though. The Godfather holding on to, he got a stockpile of talent over there at the same, in and around the same weight division. Like he can't keep them all separate and apart from him, because eventually they're all gonna have to come together, because they're gonna be number one, number two, number three contenders.
Yeah, they're gonna have
So
to fight.
it's time to start letting the fights happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got the prospect of prospects right now, and Abdullah Mason. And there's some other quality prospects out there, but Abdullah Mason seems to have the light on him right now, where people are recognizing that he's got something different. So,
isn't the Vargas Fernando's sons with ball father too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I said he got an extreme amount of talent over there. An extreme amount of talent over there. Mm-hmm. Now, what is he going to do with it? Because remember now, Bob's supposed to get people to fight. They say that he gets people to fight. Now, I don't attend to that. I just believe he gets them exposure, because they're on a platform that everybody can tap into. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they get the fights. Now, what he does do is try to covet belts. Now, if I can get belts, I can keep people in line. Exactly what he does.
And he want to keep them spread out. He don't want nobody. He don't like undisputed. He wasn't trying to get
Yeah. Because it attracts more fights for his people to. Well, I could go get this belt and be a champion.
Yeah.
Well, you consolidate the belts and you keep them all under one umbrella, then you only got one fight you can make.
True.
Whether that's by undisputed or by just making it one belt. Mm-hmm. So, like, I like the fact that there are belts. I think that 4 is a bit too many. But if there's 4, then start ordering. See, I think that the unification should trump Mandos, and I think they should start ordering unification by system of weight. And I think that'll be a way to clear up a lot of this stuff if they start ordering mandatories for champions. Mm-hmm. And then allow that mandatory that ordered that thing. Now that person can fight the mandatory that is not a champion that's in that sanctioning body. But the first order of business should be.
Up here with 2 minutes left.
Oh yeah, well I'm not gonna go over today.
I thought I was doing some art therapy.
Yeah. But you got real quick. We get ready to head out the back door. To Just Do Boxing. The party going on over there. Just Do Boxing.
All right. Peace and blessings.
You ever been over there?
Yeah, I've been over there before. Just
who you got tomorrow, real quick, between SHYOW and Oshaki? Who you got?
Oshaki.
Oh, you got okay. Yeah, you said that.
That's gonna be a good fight.
I got Oshaki too.
That's gonna be a good fight. That's a good matchup because SHYOW, he not no, he not.
No, but he's just saying that. T-Hill was just saying that Oshaki ain't. I mean, well, because SHYOW ain't no lightweight, man. He can fight. Good card overall too. Very good.
What you think about the other fights?
Say that again.
Yeah, real quick. What you think about the other fights on that card?
Who else on there? I want Jai.
Muratalla. You like Raymond Muratalla?
I gotta look him up again.
Is he Mexican, T-Hill? Muratalla?
There's so many fighters.
Yeah, he's definitely Mexican.
Okay, yeah. Jahai Tucker, he's on there too.
Who he fight?
I forgot who he was fighting. I had it written down somewhere.
Jahai
is fighting. Oh man.
I don't know who he fighting.
Jahai is fighting somebody named Calixto Madura. I don't know too much about him. He's 12-1. He only got one loss. No, he got 5 losses.
Supposed to be fighting?
Who?
Tank.
I don't know. Him and what's the guy named Lamar Roach? But I don't know when that is. When is that? Is that signed or what? Tank and Lamar. Is that signed, T-Hill?
Signed. Yeah.
It's signed. It's just now. What date is it going to take place?
Oh, okay. No date yet. Okay.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to that DB3 card.
Which one is that? The DP.
That's the Williams. That's the Davis brothers.
Yeah, that's next Friday, a week from today. Yeah. That's on a Friday.
Yeah, that's the one. Your boy Sims is on that one too.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul is Saturday.
I'm sorry, not Sims, but Norman Jr. is on that.
Yeah, he's on there. Yep.
Yeah.
And the good women's fight next
Thomas
Saturday
Hill.
too.
What's up? What's up with it, Josh?
You fought professionally before?
No, I'm not. I'm strictly a fan, brother.
Oh.
But y'all know they got the women next Saturday.
I was around Sugar Shane Mosley a lot though.
Sugar Shane?
Okay.
Yeah, his
California, right?
Yeah. From Pomona.
Right. Okay.
Oh, you
where
from
is that?
Cali?
Southern California or Northern? Pomona.
Yeah, it's Southern California. Pomona and Southern Cal.
Okay.
Nah, I'm from Compton, California.
Compton, yeah.
That's from
Southern too, ain't
But he had family that lived in Compton, so my cousin used to mess with his family member.
Okay, cool.
Well, one of the dudes that had a son with his daughter. So.
But you got so look like you got a blunt, Jarrell?
A blunt? Where?
Oh, I thought you were smoking a blunt.
Nah.
No, I was just messing with you.
Oh no, I'm lofted. I ain't high.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. But we gotta get ready to get out of here, fellas. We'll be back next week though with another
next week for sure. Lord willing.
Peace and blessings.
Yeah. Okay.
Peace and blessings indeed.
Appreciate y'all always helping me out at the end, man. You know. Okay, everybody. That's it. Another week of boxing history is going into the history books. Appreciate everybody for rocking with me all week long. Rocking with me strong. Donnie Williams, Ace, Bass Gotti, Big Dre, Technique, Trump, Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Melanin Queen 27, Thomas Hill, Crush the Legend, Al Booger, Mike Grimm, Jarrell Hattie, Let's Talk Fashion, Pinsaw Love 1, Mike Mazik, Miss Cass. Special salute to Thomas Hill and Jarrell Hattie for coming up and helping me close things down on the panel. It's Friday. I will see y'all Monday. I will be back Monday because if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Still early in the JBT day though. Just Do Boxing next. BVO Boxing TV at 8, the Mighty Rise Podcast at 9, Angry White Men at 10. But right now, it's time for Just Do Boxing. This is Cass Sports. Everybody have a great weekend, and I will see y'all in those JBT streets.